Sitting on the clouds of the Minecraft world lies a revel of nature. Stories passed down through generations tell of it, and in those stories, they call it the Terrarium. Now, before anything was built, it was created on a piece of paper. I wanted something rigid but not geometric, old but still thriving. And that's where the terrarium came from. An abandoned, ancient structure that is still teeming with life centuries later. Now, think of a mix between Teotihuacan and your local zoo. Something that still has an ancient feel, but also the liveliness of a bird exhibit. The first part of executing my plans would be deciding my block palette. For the cloud, I decided on a base of concrete and wool, with snow, concrete powder, and quartz to complement it. For the pyramid, I decided a gradient of blackstone, deep slate, and tough bricks. And for the dome, I decided on glass. With thousands of blocks needed to complete the build, I had to start somewhere. And that start ended up being tough. These blocks are tough.
That was clever.
Next came deep slate. Alrighty. I dug a big ass pit.
A big ass pit.
It's gonna be in the pit.
Big ass pit.
I already had blackstone left over from my last build, so all I needed left was sand. Franklin celebration. Okay, I now have 4 shulkers filled with sand. After a long time gathering resources, it was finally time to work on the build. It all started with the cloud. 200 blocks in the air, the base for the entire build. The cloud was by far the biggest part of the entire project. I severely underestimated how much time and how many blocks it would take to build a giant rectangle in the sky. And even though it took the longest amount of time, I am still the most proud of what I did with the cloud. Das cloud is completed. This is the middle block. Next, the pyramid. I love to include pyramids in my Minecraft builds. They're simple, look nice, and are fun to build for me. This pyramid, however, was the first pyramid where I used a gradient. Going from blackstone all the way to tough instead of just using one block to build the pyramid was a challenge. But I'm so glad I did, because the final pyramid looks amazing. Okay. Did we get it from the floor? Looks pretty good. Next was the supports. I think the challenge with the supports was really visualizing them. The first support I built looked nothing like how I wanted it to look like, but I'm so glad I included them because they really tie the whole build together. Instead of this floating pyramid on a cloud and a dome above it, the supports makes the build one cohesive piece that the build wouldn't be without. The final piece of the build was the dome. Nearly 5,000 blocks of glass went into building it, and although it was the most time-consuming part of the build, it was the easiest. The dome was the only part of the build that was pre-planned, so before going into it, I knew exactly what it would look like. And just like I thought, it turned out perfectly.
Holy shit.
All that was left was to finish building the terrarium inside, which included splitting into the biomes, the desert, the forest, the lake, and the snow biome, and placing my creatures inside, the bees and the axolotls. But that wraps up the dome, and I gotta say I'm super proud of what I was able to accomplish. This is by far the biggest thing I've ever built, and I'm glad that I could share it with all of you. And just like that, days of effort, grinding, and building had turned into something that I was super proud of. The structure that the ancient people called the Terrarium had finally turned into something that I could call home.